Coach, as you assess the game, I know you're only about 10 minutes post final buzzer. What do you feel like was the difference in the outcome tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I just watched it back there on the film. The defense, there was, we tried. They're a tough offensive team to stop. I mean, they run good stuff and they got really good players. And we were trying this, trying that. We tried to go to a little switching scheme and they ended up hurting us on it. That was the difference in the game.
What do you feel like created some problems for your offense late in the game?
Slowed down. They shot 14 free throws in the second half. We were hurting them a lot with our pace and transition, but game slowed down, came a little bit more of a rock fight. We had a hard time executing. Not executing. We just had a hard time getting shots in the half court, and it was really because of our defense that we couldn't get stops, clean stops in terms of like not putting them on the line, and then we were taken out of the net a lot as well.
I mean, frankly, for 33, 34 minutes of this game, you had an answer for everything they put out, and it was very, very back and forth. What do you take from this positively to try and get ready for a critical road trip that's coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we're a confident group. We've beaten some good teams now at this point, both at home and on the road. I think we've proven that we can play with most of the top teams in the country. I think we're one of the top. I think we're a top 25 team. We have work to do to continue to prove it, but our team's not. We're not fazed by coming up short against a good basketball team. We're a confident group, and I'm excited about the trajectory that our group's on.
Arizona, to their credit, they run a pick and roll masterclass. It's hard to defend. So, how do you make adjustments for that specifically? Because you'll get them again, and just moving forward.
We'll have to study the film a lot more to have an answer for that. But I think it's not so much the pick and rolls; it's just they just never stop. It's hard to stall them out. Tommy does a good job of really having them continue to just play in their kind of pick and roll motion. A lot of teams stall out after one or two actions. They kind of keep going, and they're physical. They're ducking you in on the weak side and all this kind of stuff. And by the way, have good players, and so they're a good team for a reason.
I think I heard you say rebound at least 37 times tonight for good reason. How do you get better in that category against a team like that?
I mean, we were talking about a lot. I mean, honestly, like in retrospect, I think it's definitely a point of emphasis. It's not why we lost the game. We had 18 second chance wins. They had 12. So it was our pick and roll coverages. If I had to coach the game over again, we would have tried to dial in those details a little bit better. And so that's something that we'll have to have a hard look at before we go down to Tucson in a couple weeks.
Dallin Hall and Yegor Deming both had success getting to the rim tonight. What created for that opportunity for both of your point guards?
I think mindset. I mean, we've been all over those guys about being aggressive, trying to get downhill. I think Dallin's been on his heels a little bit this year. Tonight was good to see him, putting pressure on the rim. Want Yegor to be a bit more aggressive. I thought he took a couple threes that he kind of forced a little bit early, but I love it when he's attacking downhill. He's, he can finish. So we just got to, continue to have those guys be aggressive.
11 games in, a little bit through the halfway point of Big 12 play. Where do you feel like your team has progressed and grown the most in those 11 conference games?
I mean, I think just confidence-wise, I think we're, we believe in ourselves more than we did to start the year. We have a good basketball team that can make it hard for anyone on a given night. I think our guys are starting to see that and starting to believe that a little bit more. I think offensively, I think our style of play is pretty cemented in terms of how we like to play. And on the defensive end, again, I do think our identity has been sound defensively. There's obviously nuances that we need to get better at, but I just think team identity on both ends of the floor has really kind of come together.
If you were to sum up the message you just gave to your team, and I'm sure you've already touched on some of it, but what did you tell your guys after this loss?
Take a day off tomorrow, do something outside of basketball that you like, and get ready for a very important road trip.
Fair enough. Richie Saunders' dad just told me that they're going to put in some rain gutters and dig some ditches. So
that's what gets you going, man. Whatever it is, let's get ready for a big trip. And I mean, just keeping the momentum. Again, good team. Obviously, we wanted to win the basketball game, but I'm not a type of dude who just gets down. It's like, all right, let's find a solution, move on, and get the next one. And that's how you're able to kind of move past, difficult situations, which we've done. We dropped 3 in a row and no one was crying. Woke up the next day, sun still came out, and you move on. And so, we got to regroup, which we've been good at doing. We've got a great opportunity on a trip to go out and stack up some more road wins, and our group's ready to go do that.
We mentioned Yegor and Dallin specifically, and they had some good moments tonight, as you talked about. Who else do you feel like is showing you some positive things, not just tonight, but during the 4-game win streak that preceded the loss tonight?
I think Cade was taking strides. You know, he's really grown a lot on both ends of the floor. You know, multiple efforts. He's you know, just playing with an incredible motor, I think, on both ends of the floor. You know, you can almost take Richie for granted because he shows up, and Trevin too. You know, Mawut's kind of coming to his own. I think you can go down the list. You know, Dawson comes in and does his job. And so it's just a matter of, you know, like most teams, you got to be able to put all that together. Each guy has to pull their weight every night, you know. And so when you're not able to be clicking on all cylinders and things have to go your way, and tonight, we fell short there.
We'll finish with this because you brought it up. What do you do to kind of reset before you go on a road trip like this?
You know, hang out with my family, hang out with my wife a little bit. You know, I may go do a cold plunge in the Provo River to get my mind, body, and soul right. And, you know, but in all seriousness, I think that's a big part of getting through a season. You know, I learned that in the NBA. You know, this thing's a grind. This is as much of a grind as the NBA, even though there's less games because you're still practicing all the time. But I'm a big believer in, you know, mental health, mental clarity. For me, I need that so I can be at my best. And I'm just excited about, you know, licking our wounds and getting ready to go right some of these wrongs.
Coach, good luck with the cold plunge and on the road trip. We appreciate the time as always.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.